is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Women empower women. We're daughters, wives, sisters, and mothers making strides in our own lives. We're women in sports, and what matters to you matters to us. Let's talk about it all on The Playmaker. Here's your host, Nikki Harrison.
Hello, welcome to The Playmaker. I'm your host, Nikki Harrison, and I have a special treat today. Joining me is Emily Robbins. You are amazing, a true playmaker. You are the Senior Director of Community Relations and Alumni Affairs for the Dallas Cowboys. And I feel like for you, your title is just that, just a title, because if you could list all the things that you do for the organization, it'd be like a couple paragraphs, right?
Yeah, maybe. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Well, you've recently had an anniversary. You've been with the Dallas Cowboys for how long?
I just celebrated my 25th year, so this will be my 26th season.
Wow, has it flown by?
It has flown by. I'm like, I don't know where the time goes. You know, and your parents say time sure flies. Now I know what that means, because you look back and I'm like, where did those years go?
For sure.
Yeah.
And you have two little ones, two kids.
Yes.
And they're not so little. I mean, they're teenagers now, right?
Yes, they are both teenagers.
What are their ages?
Tate, my son, is 17.
Okay.
And my daughter, Tana, is 14.
So they've literally grown up here.
Yeah.
With the Dallas Cowboys.
Because I was Cruz when I started, and then I got married. It was Robbins, and so I've had my babies here, so it's almost half my life.
Look at that. Well, same here for me. Mine are 12 and 8, and this is all they know.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Now, how did you land in sports to begin with?
Well, it was an interesting story. I'll try to make it short, but the NFL actually, back in the day, had a minority recruiting program. And so I was a candidate from my college. At that time, it was Southwest Texas State. Now it's Texas State in San Marcos.
Yeah.
And so I was a candidate. They were looking for journalism majors, and I was a candidate from my college. And I was like, sure. And they knew I had been previously an athlete, and then I was a cheerleader at college, so they knew I followed football and sports. And so I was a candidate that ended up with a job at 410 Park Avenue in New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like, moving from Texas to New York?
It was exciting, scary, but it was the best thing. I was 21, had never been there, interviewed, and had to first find a place to live.
Wow.
Because I was not going to make very much money, and that was the challenge. But it was great. It was really good people. Just an incredible experience, and really to learn from the best.
That was awesome. That was very brave.
Very brave. I don't know what I was doing. I think my dad was more concerned. I was like, yeah, I'm moving to New York City. So there I was.
That's very cool. Now, being the Senior Director of Community Relations, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys' philosophy towards community service.
Well, it starts at the top with the Jones family. Mr. Jones and Charlotte Anderson. And Mrs. Jones, just the entire family, they really embrace giving back to the community. So it really makes my job easier, because they are so supportive of so many platforms and making sure that those in need are given the opportunity to get the help they need through organizations like the Salvation Army, which is our primary nonprofit that we work with.
Okay, and so you mentioned the Salvation Army, but what are some of the other main areas that you focus on? So
we have 5 pillars in our community service. Salvation Army actually is a part of our mission statement. That's how strongly we feel about them, only because they do reach such a broad umbrella of those in need. But beyond that, it's youth health and wellness, women's initiatives, the military, and the Hispanic demographic who supports the Cowboys in every way.
Wow. Oh, so fascinating. I love it. Now, have you always been drawn to this role, or has the passion that the Jones family and their devotion to community service, what has that sparked in you?
Well, I'll tell you, when I first started my career, it was public relations and charity donations. There was no community relations back when I started. We did hospital visits and MakeAWish, so we did our part in the community. But over the years, it's really grown, and where it blossomed into community relations. So we were PR, we did some community in our local, but the platforms league-wide grew. So that's where, I think in 1999, I switched from just PR to community relations director. So it means a lot to me personally. I actually left for a year,
Okay.
ready to move on and do more, and I did, and it wasn't so fulfilling, and I didn't realize how much what we did meant to me personally. And so it all worked out to where I got to come back and focus with community relations.
Oh, that's fabulous. Like they say, the grass isn't always greener.
Yeah, made more money, but had a staff, traveled, but it didn't mean as much to me personally.
Right. Wow. So I know today has been a busy day for you. What is a day like for Emily?
Well, I'll tell you what. I think the reason I can be here 25 years is that no day is ever the same. So that's what makes it really great and fun and challenging at times. But today was a special day. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we hosted 5 women who are breast cancer survivors with a program we designed 5 years ago with the Komen Foundation. And so we call them our Star Survivors.
I love that.
And they get selected through a contest where either they nominate themselves or a family member can nominate them, or a friend. And the criteria is that they have to be a breast cancer survivor, they have to be a Dallas Cowboys fan, and they have to give back to the breast cancer community. So in, I think, 500 words, they tell us those 3 components, and then they're selected. So we had them out today and celebrated them. Coach Garrett gave them their pink jerseys to wear on game day. They got to meet the players and break down the huddle, and so it's just a wonderful day.
Oh, and so I'm sure there's crying involved and just happy hugs and lots of joy.
Lots of joy, a roller coaster of emotions. But
I love that.
Really amazing.
So your role here is so vast. I mean, on one hand, you're doing all of the things community related, like today.
Yes.
And then on the other hand, you're managing alumni affairs and even things with current players.
Yes.
Talk about that. What is that like?
Well, it's great. So part of what we do is including current players in our community efforts. We have the rookie club, and then we invite them to be a part of really things on their day off that we give back into the community. So we integrate the current players, which I've done from the beginning. And then back in 2009, they said, well, would you consider taking over the alumni? And I'm like, sure. And I asked, is that all right? And they were like, well, yeah, you know half of them anyway. I'm like, yeah, kind of do. I've been here a while, so it's great.
It was an easy fit.
It was, I think. I think they were pretty sly in that selection, but it's worked out tremendously. You know, just yesterday we had Drew Pearson and Tony Casillas out here meeting with a group of breast cancer survivors and sharing their story, because Drew lost 2 sisters, and Tony's wife, Tamara, is a 5-year survivor.
Wow.
Yeah, so they spent the afternoon lunching with them, sharing stories, and these were women with Bank of America, one of our partners, their employees.
That's so cool. And it seems like most of the alumni are very receptive in terms of coming back, and if you need them to speak to the team or do like what you said, Drew, and just did yesterday. That is so cool.
They're very receptive. They really like to be involved, and you know, I think here at the Cowboys, we're one big family, and they are part of that. And they, you know, once a Cowboy, always a Cowboy. And we are so fortunate to have such an amazing base of alumni that live here in the Metroplex. So on game day, we have 10 alumni every game, you know, signing autographs at different locations, making suite visits, visiting with people on the sidelines. So they're really integrated into what we do. So they're great.
That's fabulous. That's so fabulous. And I know over the years you've read and heard so many stories and met so many families. What is it like for you when you get to be a part of that, like Make-A-Wish, when those families come in and you get to see those wishes get granted, or after your hospital visits and a family that you've gotten really close to, they're doing better, they're in remission or whatever. What is that like for you?
For me, I mean, it's everything. It's just, I think someone asked me, what's your most memorable moment? But I have so many. Every wish is a moment, every breast cancer survivor. So it's all those moments. I mean, it's really just amazing to see what really us as an organization can give back to the families and take their minds off of what they're going through or what they've been through. And with Make-A-Wish, I mean, it's the whole family that gets to experience. It's the siblings, you know, grandparents. So it's super neat to see. I know they're not here to see me, but I get to witness the greatness of what they you know, feel when they get to meet their favorite player or help break down the huddle, and just how welcoming our organization is.
Well, speaking of Make-A-Wish, I've gotten to be a part of the cheer greeters when they come in. And I have to tell you, being a mom, I immediately zoom in on the parents or the grandparents, because I know, like, when my child is sick or hurt, I just wish I could take that and let me deal with it.
Yes.
You know, so then when I see the parents, and some of them are crying.
Grab the box of tissues.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I'm there crying. It's just so beautiful.
It really is. They've been through a lot. And they're tears of joy, because I guess they get to see their children be so happy, and knowing how much that parent has seen their child go through, to see them so happy and smiling and just enjoying the moment. So yes, as a parent, because I remember people go, how do you do that?
Yes.
How do you do it? And I'm like, well, before I had children, it was a little easier, like at the hospital visits or in any situation. But now that I have my own children, it's just like, oh, wow, we're so thankful.
Absolutely. I mean, and I never really thought about it. I'm like, after seeing what all you do, I'm like, your job has got to be so rewarding, because yes, of course, it can be hectic and crazy things happen. And then you sit back and you think, well, you know what? It could be a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
Because you think
daily reminder.
Yes,
It really
every
is.
single
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Now, we as employees, we have been gifted so many opportunities to serve, and I absolutely love it. I have to say, one of my favorite was last year, when the brand and media department got the opportunity to be the Santas at the Salvation Army for the Angel Tree recipients. Oh my goodness. That was so fabulous, seeing the parents come in and get their kids gifts and just seeing their faces light up.
Yes, we're so thankful and so appreciative of that program. Really is. It's the Angel Tree program, and company-wide, we all get to adopt, and then you got to see the end result, which is neat. So everyone gets their angel, and they shop for their gifts, and we load them. And then when you get that opportunity to go and see the amazing work the Salvation Army does in that warehouse, I mean, they're so organized. I mean, it's family, and then every child, and then the family comes. And I don't know if you know, but it's just the parents come.
That's right.
And they don't bring the children.
That's right.
So then they can have Christmas morning. So,
so beautiful.
It really is.
And just seeing the emotion on their face.
They're so thankful.
Another one that was super awesome to be a part of was when Hurricane Harvey affected our Houston preseason game.
Yes.
And I mean, quickly, everyone just jumped into action and got that telethon on the air. Players involved, the family involved. It was fabulous. But was that crazy nuts for you?
It was. I mean, but everybody, I mean, there was several meetings, I mean, fast. It was just, it was really, a rush of exhilaration, and it's just amazing how it came together. It was the first of its kind, because we have a disaster team with our partner CBS 11 and the Cowboys and Salvation Army. So when there is a disaster, immediately they'll do a telethon on site at the station. But we wanted to do something bigger and more. And the guys were having practice, and we went back and forth. Can we do it at the stadium? And, IT got involved. How do you plug the lines in? And I mean, it was just,
oh, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was amazing. But so much money was raised.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great.
That was fabulous. Now, this weekend's game is Crucial Catch.
Yes.
And talk about what that means, because the focus used to always be breast cancer awareness, but that is still a focus, but not the main focus.
Right.
What is Crucial Catch?
So Crucial Catch is an awareness platform, and it's driven league-wide. So they changed the theme.
Okay.
And then it's up to the teams if they wanted to embrace that, because several of us have relationships with our breast cancer partners, like the Komen Foundation. We've had a strong and long-standing relationship with Nancy Brinker and the Joneses from the very beginning when they first bought the team. So we're very loyal to that partnership. So we still highlight them, but we've also embraced the other cancers. So we will do some recognition on field at halftime for the other cancers.
Got it. Very cool. And you're also a part of this other big initiative.
Oh, yes.
Huddle For 100.
Yes, it is big.
Talk about that.
Okay, so in celebration of the NFL's 100th anniversary, there's a community piece to that. So the NFL is celebrating all year long the 100, and a part of that is the community piece, and that's the huddle, and it's giving back to communities nationwide. So every team has a huddle. So we are Cowboys Huddle For 100, and what that means is the league wants 1 million people to give 100 minutes of time to make 100 million impacts.
Okay.
So we're challenged to get the most minutes volunteered or donated to causes, any cause. It can be your kid's school. If you're volunteering, that's a huddle. You can take a picture, post it, hashtag Cowboys Huddle For 100, and we'll get credit for that.
Ooh, everybody, did you hear that?
Hashtag Cowboys Huddle For 100. So if you volunteer with your church, or my children, we do, National Charity League or Young Men's Service League, anything that anyone in the community chooses to do that they want to support, the Cowboys or our huddle efforts, we have an opportunity to win the most minutes.
That's fabulous. And so then when do we know how we, the Cowboys, have done?
It started at draft, and it goes through to Super Bowl in my area. So.
Okay, and then they'll announce who won.
Yes, and the winning team gets $100,000 to donate back to their community.
Yes.
So really, it's just an opportunity for NFL fans nationwide to give back to their communities, because we know the NFL has the best fans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, you brought up you doing service with your children.
Yes.
Not only do you are you crazy busy here at work, but you find time to serve with your children. Talk about what that's like.
It's great. I think it's a different perspective for me, because we're busy coordinating and facilitating and strategizing and doing what we do here at work. So these organizations for my kids, like I mentioned, we volunteer together, moms and daughters, and then moms and sons. And so I alternate weekends volunteering with them, mostly so they can see what life is out of our town.
Absolutely.
And going to see those in need, and just having a bigger appreciation for what it means to give back.
100%. I mean, that's fabulous to instill that quality of giving back in your kids, because, I mean, that's hard.
Yeah.
For your kids to think outside of the box and think that they aren't the only ones on this planet. There are people who need.
Yeah, and I'm sure you do it with your kids. When you adopt the angels from the tree. We go shopping. So like I've always tried to adopt the same age of my kids and take them shopping for someone else. So it's good, and I think that's what our society needs.
I love the angel tree too, by the way. It's fabulous.
Thanks.
Now, I'm going to ask you one of your most memorable moments.
Gosh. Okay, most memorable moments.
I know it's hard because you got thousands.
I have so many.
Anything just jump out at you?
So many. I'm like, well, I have some funny ones.
Give me a funny one. Give me a funny one.
Okay, when I first started, and this is not about community, but when I first started, first of all, there was not very many women that worked for the organization, so there was not very many of us.
And now we're 41%.
I know.
It's fabulous.
It was like me and Doreen and Charlotte, and that's all. And Marilyn.
And that's it.
And Carol Pageant. That's all. So I was in PR, and our staff was a lot smaller back then too. And I remember we were doing credentials for the media.
Okay.
No one knew what to do or how to do it.
Oh,
so we were up late nights after working 14-hour days at training camp, collating credentials, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, in packets, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So a week long of that. So we're, exhausted.
Of course.
My first year, I was like, oh my gosh. So then it was time for credential distribution to all the media outlets. So I get in a car from training camp. They load up the car with all the credentials, and my boss, Rich Dalrymple, said, go to Valley Ranch and hand them out. And I was like, okay. Okay. So there I go. Well, I must have been in a hurry, so I got pulled over.
Uh-oh.
And they asked for papers and registrations, and I was in not a rental car, I was in a dealer car. And I was like, I have all the credentials for Texas Stadium in the back of my car. I'm on my way to Valley Ranch. I can't be late. They're going to be there at 9 o'clock. And he's like, whoa, 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 slow down. And so he made me open the back. I thought I was a little nuts. So I showed him all the credentials. He goes, well, just make you slow down. Make sure you slow down. Make sure someone knows you're going to be a few minutes late and get over there. So, but yeah, it was just like, oh my gosh, I'll never forget that.
Well, that's nice. He didn't give you a ticket.
No, I don't think he did. And I had no proof. He thought, like, whose car is this?
Right.
It's the dealer car they give us at training camp.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah, I was just,
Wow.
Yeah, I'll never forget that one. I'm like, trying to another memorable one.
What's been a memorable story from all the community relations. Like, I mean, you guys do hospital visits, you feed for Thanksgiving, don't you? Doesn't the team feed families?
Yes. So at Thanksgiving, we do an early Thanksgiving Day meal because we play on Thanksgiving, and then our players don't have a day off before that game because it's a short week. So we go the week before. And so we take the veterans to Dallas, Carpi Collins, Salvation Army, and then we take the rookies to Fort Worth. So we serve over 800 people
Oh my goodness.
simultaneously.
Yes.
So that's really amazing, just to see how the clients are so happy to see our guys, and they wear the aprons, and they're seated, and they bring out their food, and just to see that fellowship between the two of them, and a player and a Salvation Army client, and just how wonderful it is. I mean, how much it gives to both. So I see it on a daily basis. I mean,
Yes.
just
A vet.
you know, how much it gives to the person involved and the person receiving, and really it's just a win-win. you know?
Absolutely.
So it's really fortunate.
Oh, well, you're truly remarkable.
Oh,
I'm telling
I
you.
feel very blessed to do what I get to do.
Well, it's truly been a treat having you here with me today. I thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
You are definitely a playmaker. And
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And like I said, your job has got to be probably one of the most rewarding here at the Star. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Nikki.
Well, thank you for watching, and we will be back next week on The Playmaker.